Just when I thought I was out, pull me back in.
You don't understand, Fredo. Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in! What's up, beautiful people? This is Boat with Stock Doctor Trading, and I gotta tell you, that is so true, so true. It doesn't matter how far I go in life, I cannot get away from the banking finance system and the Federal Reserve, man, and I am tired of it. God, I gotta tell you. Yeah, so it's been a little while since I made a little video. Decided to get back to it because I got a little bit of a better understanding of my whys for this YouTube channel that I didn't have before. See, I was doing the live streams, rocking and rolling, doing great. Had some views, you know, which was rewarding enough as it was. But what I started noticing was I was making all these great call outs, you know, to an audience of 5 or 6 people, when I was actually missing doing the trading myself. And so I basically started day trading again for the past month or two, and I was really successful. You know, YouTube's not paying me the bills yet, so I just decided to make money on the day trading side of it, which I think is maybe one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of really great finance channel YouTubers out there in terms of really, I mean, there's some out there. There's some out there that can help you, you know, make money on a daily basis, give you some good call outs. Charlie over at Zip Trader, that homeboy Jerry, you know, Maverick of Wall Street. There's some people out there, you know, Jeffrey Forbes, some Wrench Capital. Let me see. There's some people out there that can help you get alpha, but generally speaking, if you're making a YouTube channel, it's probably because you can't make money trading. So, you know, that's like a well-known thing. And so that's what I got caught up into. Then, my dog got sick, guys, and it was pretty sad. I lost my dog. And it was about a month and a half process of trying to heal her up, and nothing worked. She got caught with a jungle disease called Ehrlichia, and it's a dog killer, unfortunately. So I lost my baby girl Saber. You know, one love to her, right? You know, and I just want to, you know, this is not the most important thing that we have to talk about or anything like that. It's just, this video is all about me getting caught up with myself on this YouTube channel and saying everything I've been wanting to say for a little while. So here it is, and here we are there again without a clue of how we'll end, but we will find our way around, see what life is like living in a new old town, riding a hurricane to change, but for this I'm down. Still gotta reach for our dreams though Jamie Diamond's on the ground. So basically, after she passed, my whole world changed completely. I had a lot to think about. I had to really ask myself, like, why would I want to do this channel? You know, obviously it's for like a more like sustainable growth pattern than just day trading is, right? But it takes a lot of investment to make these YouTube channels. They want me to get 290,000 minutes of views before I could even start monetizing it. And who even knows what that will return. But hey, we're gonna do it because I figured out my whys. I was able to kind of look inside myself and ask myself, what is this full circle that is my life, you know, around finance? So what is my life around finance? It's literally encapsulated my whole life. It doesn't matter how far away I get from it. It doesn't matter how far I go and how much I change. The banking and finance system always catches up to me. The broken economy always catches up to me. After 2006, and learning everything that I did about the finance world, I basically set my mind to it to get myself as far and as fast away from that world into something that I thought was a more morally, ethically, and wholesome life. I was disgusted with what I learned in finance. And guys, when I tell you I did get as far away as I could possibly get, I meant it. I went to the other side of the world. And I haven't been back for 10 years. I've always seen what was going to happen. And I've been preparing for this for a while. And that's my why for this YouTube channel. For some reason, it keeps pulling me back in. This world keeps pulling me back in. I couldn't escape it even here in beautiful Costa Rica. I couldn't get away from the Fed. They locked us down over pandemic. We don't need to get into that politics right now. But the point is that they shut down our economy. They shut down all the sustainable businesses I was running. They shut down three of my businesses in total. Those were all my dreams that I had worked so hard for. 2006, I left finance. By 2012, I was in Costa Rica. Now 10 years later, and I'm standing on top of this hill, talking to the people on my future subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I just had to let you know, I tried to get away from everything that I know about this world of these economics. I tried to go do the better version of it. Building eco-sustainable bamboo buildings and whole bamboo business, and they shut it down on us people. So here I am. The fate brought it to me that I have the ability to make this YouTube channel, that YouTube even exists right now, that I can channel my message out to you, and that you guys have to know I'm an expert in downtrends. I'm an expert in recessionary times. I told you I started in March of 2000. That was the month. I landed on the floor the month the market first started breaking. You know, I had 4 years in finance where I learned what they wanted me to learn, what they wanted me to teach me, which was that the Fed is God, that supply and demand chain is controllable, and that price controls are a good idea. All right, they taught me these things as the backbone of the finance professional they wanted me to grow into. But then I had these other 2 years where those were that weren't my in front of the curtain years. And I actually got to see how this whole thing works from the inside. And those 2 years were like a lifetime of experience for me, on top of the 4 years of every day, 40, 50 hours a week for years on end, learning what this finance world was about, and then seeing the whole thing die, knowing that 2008 was coming. I got out in 2006 because the job market in finance dries up so badly every time there's a downtrend. Every time the Fed screws up, it's us that loses our jobs, not them. So 2 years later, I was sitting on Occupy Wall Street, you know, and it was the first time in my life I ever noticed a bunch of people actually caring about the manipulation from the financial institutions and the banking sector. These were things that bothered me to their core, and I saw them from the inside out. I was an insider. And that really helped me get a vision of what the difference is between what they want you to see and what the really fuck is going on, all right? And they don't want you to know how algorithms work. They don't want you to know how high frequency trading works. And so, zooming forward, March of 2020 happens. I'm working on a 400 hectare permaculture development process, 62 villas and 25 homes. Our job was to rent them out while we were doing retreat, healing, yoga, meditation, like any kind of retreat you wanted, activities, vacation rentals, everything was our plan. I got into that project as a lead on that project in April of 2020. All right, this was the culmination of everything. My bamboo treatment business, my media production company, Real Media Ninja. I was a full-on media production company. We could do everything, and marketing, and sales. And then we have this wonderful project. I went into it, built 5 heavily marketable websites to develop the infrastructure of what would be a cyclical economy that we were developing within those 62 villas, and then the other areas that we were going to develop it on top of it. And no one came to Costa Rica for a year and a half. It was really 2 years, essentially. You know, but it was a year and a half of just nobody was here. So our project got shut down. We ran out of money. We paid our workers till we ran out of money. And then we had to go about our merry ways. I've been sitting here studying the markets ever since then. And isn't it funny? So I start getting back into my old investment accounts in about November of 2020. You know, after, you know, everything for us kind of had blown up in terms of trying to change the world for a better, more sustainable way, you know, which was me getting away from everything I learned that was corrupt about finance and trying to make, you know, solutions that we could pivot away from the powers that control us, not have them have the power to control us, but we don't have to fight them if we just pivot, right? All right, so guess what happens next? You know, Citadel, Apex Clearing, Payment for Order Flow, GME, Deep Fucking Value, AMC, Reddit, Discord blows up, YouTube blows up, Trey comes online, the other side of the spectrum, Lou comes online. People start talking about it. As soon as AMC and GME squeeze in January 2021, I'm on the horn, right? And I'm in there. I've got all the money that I had at that point in my life, after everything had been shut down, invested in AMC, and I made 5x in the first 6 months there. You'll see if you go back on my YouTube channel, you'll see I started making videos back then because I was like, all right, this is the time. Because what I was feeling was the energy of the same thing that I saw in 2008 with Occupy Wall Street. And the Occupy Wall Street got killed. Basically what happened with Occupy Wall Street is they waited till November and December when it got too cold for everybody to camp out in Central Park. So everyone went home. And because there was a leaderless movement, basically the movement died with the lack of occupying because it was too fucking cold, right? So I hadn't seen, knowing that nothing got fixed in the banking system except how they can continue to break it a little bit more without it breaking fully, aka reverse repo program. Other than those type of facilities, they didn't do anything to the fundamental mechanics of money in the world and what the problem is with a debt-based society. So we always knew, and I always knew, this moment was going to come again. But to think that it was actually going to catch me out here on the frontier of life in Costa Rica is insane to me, right? So, okay. So I'm sitting there with these apes, and these apes are looking like the Occupy Wall Street 2.0 when I look at it. And I'm like, these guys are paying attention to the stuff that's been bothering me, plaguing me for 15, 20 years of my life. You know, I'm literally like living an entire life where I'm going off and trying to change like an entire system of how things are because I was so pissed at how I learned that it already was. And I knew I couldn't fight banking systems that were much bigger and much stronger than me. So I had to figure out how to pivot, and creating environmental sustainable solutions to things like building and agriculture and energy and recycling seemed pretty good to me. And I did it, guys. I did it. Some good for nothing from Boston did it. I came down here and did it, and they still got me. They still got me. They still shut me down. After 10 years of living my dreams, they still shut me down. That was about 8 years of living my dreams at that point. And they still got me. So here I am, and I'm thinking I've got these apes, right? And I start the YouTube channel, but then I start noticing this real issue in the community. All right? These apes are really used to arguing with each other on Discord and Reddit, calling each other stupid retards and idiots and all that kind of stuff. They're used to that, right? And so what happened was the companies like that were working with Citadel to short companies like AMC and GME, and we came to discover it was a lot more than AMC and GME that were being shorted heavily under this, what I like to call just a seek and destroy type of algorithm that occurs during bull markets. It's a bull market algorithm. It's important to note that because that's a big part of the storyline. Okay, so AMC and GME got the most attention. That's why they were the most squeezability buddies. But if there were a lot of stocks out there that if we had all just jumped on any one of them, and rather than these two, but any one of them, it would have squozen to the moon much earlier. But the point was, These ones had a movement, so I started analyzing the movement. Even my YouTube channel took off because of the movement. So many people's YouTube channels took off just from talking about AMC and GME. People that really don't have any business talking about finance and economics. They don't have 22 years of experience or inside trading knowledge, licenses, anything like that. They've never been a financial advisor. They've never spoken to one client on the phone about their accounts and what their troubles are. They've never led one client in the right direction when they didn't know what they were doing. But there they were, getting hundreds and thousands of views and followers for this subject of AMC and GME and this squeeze play. And if you came in and you talked to them about diversification or buying in and buying out, if you didn't do anything but hodl, then you were reprimanded fully for it. Now, that was okay because their strategy was buy and hold, and they didn't know any better. They were just a bunch of apes, so that thing worked. The problem was the hedge fund and institutional investors figured that out, right? And they figured out within Reddit and Discord how to divide us. So they botified Twitter, Reddit, and Discord to the max. We got hit. I just saw over the coming months after the June squeeze, on AMC and GME, that June squeeze, Reddit was completely botted out by that point. It was totally taken over. They took over our medium. And when you go into those conversations, they started leaning everybody towards CompuShare and, like everybody else is a shill if you don't agree with this main, narrative about DRSing. And I'm fairly certain that more than 50 to 60% of those DRS posts were bots who just wanted you to deliquify your shares. It was going to make everything a lot easier for them to synthesize shares that didn't have an ape attached to them. And ever since then, I've seen the community constantly being able to be divisive. So I actually did what I thought was the right thing to do for my career and for my YouTube channel was I stayed away from talking about it. I didn't do my YouTube channel for another year or so. And it's only been the past, 3-4 months that I've been trying to kick it back off, get myself into my groove, and get everything right. But there was some serious problems with that movement. You guys have to really see it for what it was. It was easy to attack it because it was already a group of retards that were already easily attackable because they were busy attacking each other constantly, right? And so that created just a really easy way for anybody who's a 3D chess player in this world of social media propaganda and finance and algorithms and trading. It gave them a way to manipulate our entire narrative, the entire group, and you had the whole spectrum from Trey to Lou and all the people in between, and they got really popular off this conversation. And I made some points about where we were headed after this in terms of recession. I mean, it's a lot worse now. I'm showing up right now because it's about to get a lot worse. And this is actually what I'm supposed to do with this group. In YouTube, in this space, with whoever decides to subscribe or take a look, because I have more experience with bear markets than anybody I've seen in the YouTube space so far. I've already been through them. This is going to be my 4th one. And this one is going to be the slowest, the most painful, and the most divisive in terms of splitting up this kind of global pie that we've been working to build for the past 30 to 40 years of globalization and debt-based society. And we're about to be in a full-on currency war. We're already in an economic war that is fully blown out. I'm not going to try to get into details right now, because I could go all over the board. We could talk about Japan. We can talk about Bank of England. We can talk about Liz Truss be bust, and she's out in 5. She's gonna dive in 5. Oh, I failed that rhyme. We're gonna cut that one out. But you've also got Australia turning in. We have to talk about Switzerland. We have to talk about the repo program that's going on with Swiss banks through the Federal Reserve, a facility that is supposed to be held within the United States, but somehow they're letting Switzerland run repo programs for other people who need collateral or cash, like US dollars. They need cash in US denominated dollars. And so there's a repo program. Our repo program in the United States is dead. We're just doing reverse repo program. We're on the other side of this coin. right? Where we need solid collateral, something that's going to actually earn some sort of return, or our money market accounts are going to tank, right? And that's what the reverse repo program is really all about. It's all about paying that 5 basis points, which is just enough to make the money markets not crash. And Switzerland is doing the opposite. They're repoing to other countries. This is in addition to our exporting of inflation. We are literally in an all-out world where all other countries and currencies are the enemy and the US dollar is the one trying to win. And meanwhile, if I just take a break, guys, you can see, if I could get away from this, I'd be in the exact right place to be away from it. Beautiful. None of these people are thinking about what I'm thinking about here, but I can't get away from it because I know how much average people are going to be robbed from this. I know how much of a difference that I can make by guiding people through down markets and letting you know how you can win. All right? There's no more bears, there's no more bulls, there's no more apes. We're just people here to trade what this market gives us, and we do still have to make generational wealth no matter how much they're screwing it up. No matter how much they've already taken from us, we still have to try, people. We still have to try. So I have a lot more to talk about on this. That actually feels like the vent session that I needed to have. I really can't go into some of these individual topics if I didn't sit down and bring you guys up on this hill and show you like the world that I try to create for myself, the place I tried to make my life happen ever since finance. Ever since finance. I've been running from that corruption. And I got this far. I got this far in my life. Some good for nothing from Boston. I got this far in my life and I can't escape it. I can't escape it because it shut down all my shit even after all of that. It shut down all of my businesses, all my work anyway. So this YouTube channel is me. This is me now. This is what I have to do. And we're gonna go through and we're gonna understand that it's really not going to change until we make it change. And that's why I came back into the scene with the apes, because they were talking about a subject that was needing to be talked about for years and years. And they were learning about the corruption, and they understood the corruption. They were seeing it. They were doing DD. They were realizing there are millions and millions of people right now that know how much the financial world and banks are manipulating us, that never knew it before. So if ever there was a time that we could make a change in a system that's much more powerful than us, it would be now, and it would require us to stand up with a united voice, undivided, and begin by doing many things. But you start by taking money out of politics, people, because we can't get the rest of the system right if they can buy our votes away from us. If they can corrupt our politicians, we're not going to be able to beat this without some sort of revolution, some sort of thing that's going to cause a lot of disruption to our system, and it's going to depress our economy, and we're not going to be able to grow the way we want to grow. So, there's never been a more serious time in life to pay attention to what's happening in the world and finance and economics, and don't let yourself be lied to. And this YouTube channel is going to be all about picking through the propaganda of this world and getting it right. Picking through all the propaganda of this world and finding a way to capitalize on it so we can pivot away from the powers that be as they try to put us into indentured servancy and a feudalistic society where the 1% has a different lifestyle than us and they want us to eat some bugs. Oh no, people. I learned about permaculture, sustainability, environmentalism. Trust me, we could live in abundance. We don't have to have scarcity as the basis of our economics. We'll talk more about all of that, people. I just want to take you out, show you how far I tried to go to get away from it all. My beautiful pueblo of Capos. My home away from home. My favorite little place in the world. God, I wish I could show you how beautiful this broccoli was. It's not the same. Not the same on the phone. We got a lot of work to do, people. I got a lot of work to do. I got to start making a lot of videos discussing a lot of this stuff because, see, here's one of the things about me. You're not going to find that I'm going to be that person who wants to be like, the world is on fire! Everybody sell, sell, sell! Or buy, 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 like a Jimmy Cramer or something like that. Like, this isn't not me, right? Like, we as investors, we take what the economy gives us, right? We don't fight the Fed. You know, we just ride trends and we try to be ahead of the curve. We try to understand when capitulation happens, probably a buying time. When euphoria happens, probably a take profit time. You know, there's so many lessons that we got to learn, and we're going to do it through repetition. We're going to go through these trades and we're going to learn how to actively manage our portfolios every single day. There's no more financial advisor that's going to take you through this next 2-3 years of investing. It's going to be you and your study and your analysis, and I'm going to be here to help.